gold is valuable not so much because it can be melted and turned into jewelry or whatever. It's valuable because stars had to explode and get coalesced into the crust of this earth so that there is a finite amount that is really hard to get out. And so it literally becomes proof of work, as they call it, that I know this was hard to get. So there's no way that somebody is like secretly in the back room, like making more gold and putting it into the system, which would essentially be counterfeiting. So it becomes an anti-counterfeiting, anti-inflation mechanism. And that is what makes gold valuable. And so it's like, wait a second, the very thing that makes gold valuable, you're saying that the fiat money just like, hey, fuck it, like make it rain, like, money printer go burr. It's like, you start to get sketched out of like that scandal you talked about, where it's like, what is happening? So yeah, do you buy into the narrative that Bitcoin is like the ultimate digital gold and that it perfects those elements of scarcity?
Well, that's why I introduced gold. I mean, I'm not a gold bug or anything, but Bitcoin mirrors, and it's actually a synthetic attempt to recapture those qualities of gold, right? And now, of course, gold wasn't perfect either because technological innovations or gold finds, like in California in 1848, would increase the rate of gold creation. So that would be, a shock, right? You don't necessarily want the money supply to increase dramatically based on a technological change. But it even so didn't increase it that much. And so what Bitcoin took was this relatively strong but not perfect commitment to not increase the money supply too rapidly, to just give us strong predictability, which worked very, very well for hundreds of years. And Bitcoin made it even stronger. It made it a perfectly sound commitment, which is we're going to adhere to this monetary schedule and we're never going to change it. And this is just what you got. And no one has the authority to change it, ever. And it's going to be perfectly predictable. So it's like the most hardcore version of gold possible. Gold gets those traits from the explosions of stars and the nature of the Earth's crust, and also the atomic nature of gold. It's not radioactive, doesn't corrode, so it's very stable, which is important because, it's not going to decay or rot or anything like that. And then Bitcoin gets those traits by looking at the natural world and creating a synthetic version of that, which is designed to recapture those ideas. And Satoshi compared Bitcoin to gold a lot. That wasn't a coincidence. The proof of work function Satoshi compares to the mining of gold because it's expensive and difficult to get the gold out. It's expensive and difficult to get the new Bitcoins out too. And it should be that way. It shouldn't be easy to create the money. It should be really hard. And the people that create the money shouldn't have a huge advantage in doing so. So gold extraction, the gold mining companies, sure, they're worth a little bit, but the people that mine gold are not like these princes of the universe that control everything. They have to compete in the free market like everyone else, so they eke out a margin. It's the same with Bitcoin miners. Bitcoin miners aren't princes of the universe either. They, earn a return doing it, but it's just kind of a normal corporate activity. It's not something that endows you with fabulous, unfathomable wealth. And that's by design. That's because it's a free market equilibrium where if the miners were earning too wide a margin, other miners would come into the industry and compete with them and compress that margin. So the fact that it's a competitive free market process, Bitcoin inherits that from gold, but that's also a great feature. So a lot of Bitcoin's design arguably is kind of inspired by gold.